Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Let's Look at Space Haven. Now, from my understanding, this game was made by RimWorld fans for RimWorld fans, and it borrows a lot of inspiration from that. I am going into this fairly blind. I have done just a little bit of playing in my off time here just to learn the bare mechanics of the game so that I'm not a complete failure at this. But yeah, we are going to take a look at this game. Maybe do a little bit longer of an episode. And if you guys enjoy this series or this episode, we can look at turning this into a series. I think if we hit 20 likes on this video, then we will look at doing a let's play on it. Now I am going to take a pause here. First, initial reaction to the game is that the soundtrack for this is really beautiful. It's a really nice soundtrack. And then as I was playing, it does borrow quite a bit from RimWorld, and I'll break you through some of the core mechanics here. But the building is all through here, and so what you're going to notice is that right now all of these have bad environment, and so a key part to the game is maintaining the resources that your crew needs to survive on a spaceship, and the goal is to build up the spaceship so that it's able to go into hyperspeed and jump through space, mining resources and going through the universe. And so, really cool concept. One of the first things that you will need to build is a tool facility. As you can see, the no tools facility, they are not able to actually build anything until they have this tools facility up. So I'm just going to skip it ahead a little bit here until they can get that built, and then they will start building these power nodes, and we will link up our power and then figure out how we are going to plan out this base. And so now that they are starting to build the power and we have the tools workbench up, it does kind of walk you through what you need to do and our gas levels, which is pretty essential. These guys are our crewmate here. They are not able to take off their space suits until they have stable oxygen levels, and until they have their spacesuits off, they won't be able to rest or go to sleep or anything. So there is the maintaining. If we look at these guys here, food, energy, comfort, safety, social, and health, and so maintaining all of those is essential to making the ship run. And so the food and energy is fairly easy. You can see that they are craving for carbohydrates, lonely and in major discomfort. And once they take off their space suits, which they have now, they will be able to rest and that kind of thing. And now we'll take a pause, and I'll show you how the links work. And so, as you can see, we have the selected link types. Now you can strictly upload, strictly download, or go both ways. And so, just for ease of everything right now, we are going to do both ways, and we will create a link to here, and then we will select this one, and that way we have power running through this entire half of the ship. Everything on the lower half has power already, and so yeah, we'll be able to handle that okay. And so we'll leave that menu and go back into our play mode here, and you'll see the power has been fixed. And so the next thing to address is the resting. It will constantly pop up with the objectives here and tell us what we need and all of that. And so I guess this building does not have power yet, so we will just build one more power node and make sure that it does get power. These are our mining ships, and so when we want to go mine other asteroids, we will need that operational, and so kind of essential to get that up and running. And now the next thing that pops up right away is the thermal regulator, so maintaining the heat on the ship. Now the ship already does have some pre-built, but it just wants to teach us how to maintain everything going on in this. And so we will build one of those just to move on to the next objective. And I'm thinking that we will actually, let's wait and make sure that we finish that objective and just go through one by one. and see what the game is asking us to do. It is we are just looking at this game, and so obviously we want to make sure that everything is in good standing. And so next is asking for lights so the crew is able to see. I just don't want to link this power before we do move on to anything else, and so we will go into furniture. Now there is just the base necessities. This game is in early access. I believe it's in Alpha 10 right now, and so it's not super complex yet, but I think there is a lot of potential for this game. So we're going to build just a few beds and a few lights just to keep them satisfied. And now there are, once we get a little bit farther down the line, there are ways you can expand the ship and add rooms and that kind of thing. And if we zoom out here, we can see that there are nearby ships and nearby asteroids to mine. And so that is something to pay attention to as well. And we will zoom back into our ship here. The controls are a little touchy, I will say, but again, that's something that they'll probably work out as time goes on. And we see that we cannot raise oxygen levels. We need more oxygen generators, which is this. However, I don't know if we actually need more oxygen in our base. We do need to expand the spaceship's hull, which I will get into in just a minute, but I am going to dismantle one of these nodes. We have two side by side for whatever reason. And so building out the hull is kind of cool. You can see we have different zones. I guess if you're comparing it to RimWorld standards, we have refugees, prisoners, sketch area, which I'm not sure what that actually... Oh, maybe just the planning tool. And then we have our hulls, as well as walls and that kind of thing to build. And so we will build a hull. The game is pretty cautious. It does tell you to be careful building too much hull too fast, as it is harder to find the resources to build a hull. And so we will just forward through this hull building and then work on building a toilet area and that kind of thing. Maybe separate the bedroom with a wall or something like that, but yeah, I haven't gone into that as much yet. The one thing I will mention as well is that yeah, and they are using the mining ships right now to build the hull out. But you're not able to build on these power nodes, furniture, and that kind of thing. And so it is important to pay attention to where you're placing them. I was having some difficulty linking them in the first attempt, and everybody just died of oxygen deprivation. And so, yeah, making sure that you do pay attention to that. And I want to slow us down here. It's a habit in RimWorld to play on fast speed, but obviously with a new game here, we want to make sure that we are getting everything that we do need. I'm thinking maybe we do expand the hull a little bit more and just have a separate spot for a bathroom. Now let's actually cancel that and go to here. Maybe a 3x3 bathroom with a wall there would be a good idea to have, and then we will build that out. And then there are a few other things that you should be wary of. And so, where is it? Food here. Obviously, you want a kitchen and an eating area as soon as possible. And again, everything in this game does require power. So every time you're building out a hull, you will need to link up some power to it. And so we will just continue with the floor power nodes. It seems like they are fairly efficient, aside from the fact that that you're not able to build on top of them. So just being cautious of where you place them. We will have room for a table here, so it shouldn't be anything too horrible. The table is fairly small, as well as the chairs that you can put around it. Just making sure that the colonists' comfort does stay up. And so now that this is built, it isn't built yet, but we will put it to high construction priority, and then they will get that built as soon as possible. And then the toilet is the only thing that we are missing. And so you can see too in the top corner here, you will start to get updates on your crew. if you are slow to build a toilet, they will shat themselves as a debuff, and so obviously something you want to try and avoid. But they are feeling very uncomfortable, and that is just Valeria. But that seems to be across the board. Every colonist is feeling discomfort, probably because they don't have a working toilet yet. But let's put it into super fast mode here and move on. You can see too, when the power grid is up, what is using how much power. I think it is that the 25 is stored and it's consuming 0.1 a second, and so this produces, it looks like it's producing 100, generating 4 per second, 5 per second, and obviously consumption is really, really low across all of our furniture and that kind of thing, and so we won't be struggling for power, I don't think, for a while, and so that part is good. And now that they have built this, we will link it right away to here, and they should have a working kitchen now. And I'm just going to turn down the game volume here a little bit. As much as the music is beautiful, I am a little worried that you guys aren't able to hear me, and so we will turn that down just a little bit. And now that we have this built up, let's build out a wall. I don't know if there's a difference between any of these walls. Maybe just throw a door, and we want it to be in line with this, and so we'll throw a door here and then build a wall on each side of it. And I'm assuming that this will tie in later on. Back down to slow speed here. It will tie in later on, I think, to airlocks and that kind of thing. But for now, we're just going to make sure that they have a working toilet with a little bit of privacy. And now that we have built the toilet, it is under construction right now, so we will set that to high so we can move along. But yeah, I think this game has a lot of potential. It's kind of like a more contained RimWorld. Obviously, I am comparing it to RimWorld, but it was built with RimWorld as its main inspiration, and so there are a lot of similarities. But yeah, it's a little bit more contained in the sense that there isn't as much going on your map all the time. It's kind of nice, I will say, but yeah, obviously, if you enjoy all of the hectic stuff that's happening in RimWorld, there is a lot of work that the game needs to be at that level. But once we get this toilet built, we will get our next objective. And now it is not connected to power, so we will have to do that. And we are required to build a water purifier. And now there is a good spot for it just right here, I think, or maybe beside the kitchen is where I want to keep it. But let's get some power towards that toilet because these guys are probably ready to burst. And so I guess it is just outside of this range, which is kind of unfortunate. We could have moved it over just one more block and it wouldn't have been an issue. So like I was saying, being really strategic about where you're placing your power nodes is pretty important. And now we will look at the water purifier. And so let me just find it down here. It is a little, I'm sure once you get familiarized yourself with the game, it will be easier to figure out what is where. But that does seem like a good spot for the water purifier. And so we'll wait till they get this all built and then link it up so they have a working toilet. And there we go. So we will link this now to this power node. And now it's asking us to mine an asteroid. And now mining an asteroid is fairly straightforward. We just need to find one that is nearby that we can mine. This seems to be, there is a lot of ice here. And the benefit of ice is that it does provide more water, and that is how you obtain water as far as I understand. And so we will just mine, set to mine all of that, and then as we zoom in here, we will see them embark in their ship to go and do that. Let's see, the recycler I haven't seen yet. So it transforms scrap materials into a variety of usable resources. It releases heat and is noisy, so you would want this thing encased with a spacesuit door to ensure a safe working environment. So that is interesting to note. And you can see these guys going off to mine the nearby asteroid of its ice. But yeah, it is interesting to note that certain things will create more discomfort. I guess it is only natural. But the recycling machine, let's see how big this thing is. I know it is a decent size, and so we have a 4x3 room is what we will need minimum for it. And so we will build a hull with a separate room and work on building up that wall and a space suit door. So we have enough room there, and maybe we would just build it to that size. I'm hoping that these walls do not get knocked down, but maybe they will. And then we can go and look at the walls. And so it seems like there is not a whole lot of difference between the different walls, other than aesthetics. And so standard wall to partition a ship combined with doors. Yeah, so it seems like the only thing between the different walls. Oh, we have a door here. And so, yeah, it seems like all the walls are just for aesthetic purposes as of right now. I'm sure that will change in the future. But, and the hull will not be able to be built until we finish mining the asteroid. And they are back now. They have left one material there, but that's okay. We can just leave that as it is. And now that we have the ships back, we will be able to build out the hull with them. So there is a little bit of management of what ships are where. And now the farthest I have gotten is boarding one of these nearby ships. And so we will probably go to that point, and then we will end the video off. If you are interested in seeing more of this game in action, leave a like if you are wanting to see more of this series. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We do a lot of RimWorld content, and now we are looking at branching off into different areas, and so we maybe will fast forward until they get this door built and see if we have messed it up. What does this need? It is broken, so they are fixing it now. But yeah, let's take a look at this and see why there is no wall. So it seems like we have built it wrong. We will just dismantle it and try again. It looks to be that the materials do stay if you dismantle something that you build, and so that is good to note as well. And aside from that, I really just don't want to mess this up. Let's build the recycler first, and then see what we need to make it work. It also, now that I am looking at it, it doesn't seem like you can rotate. It is a forced perspective of just this, and so that is something to take note of as well. If I'm continuing the series, I probably will do it with the same playthrough. We are getting a pretty solid start here. I don't really see the point in restarting the entire thing, and so I want to make sure that we have longevity in mind here. And now we will go back to objects and try this spaceship door again. So we will try building that there, and then maybe a wall on each side of it. Maybe this is the proper layout for it. And then again, let's hit fast forward on that and make sure that everything is good. And then we will need another wall there as well. And so now let's go back to the recycler and place that down and see. I think we do have the proper space door now. I'm assuming that it is more of an airlock than anything. With the heat, they will repair this, I'm hoping. But I'm assuming with the heat and the noise, you want an airlock there just to keep it out of their sleeping quarters and that kind of thing. And speaking of, now that we have our recycler almost built, I'm thinking that we will build the bedrooms in a separate area, just wall it off. It probably would lead to some mood buffs and that kind of thing. And so I want to make sure that we're keeping our colonists happy. Maybe do not build this one. Let's go back to build here. And so we will build it like this, I'm thinking. And we've messed it up. Let's dismantle this and dismantle this. We will need to go one wall farther. And we'll build just a few doors in here just to give them a little bit of comfort, I'm hoping. And we are in a bad environment now. So let's slow things down for just a minute and go in. I did see air vents as a thing, and so I'm thinking that you will need some air vents connecting your rooms, probably for the bad environment. Yeah, I'm thinking that this will probably help. Once they get that built, we'll see if this goes away. And again, we need to link some power to the recycler. And so we will build a floor node here. It's unreachable. May need to look at expanding this room even further. So it's still in a bad environment. I'm wondering if it did say that temperature was an issue, so maybe we build a thermal regulator in this room, and hopefully that helps with that. Yes, and we have unreachable parts of the ship. That is fine because if we just hit escape here, that area there's no need to reach that area. However, the recycler is definitely essential, and so we will have to fix that. We could probably just place it on the other side of that wall, and it would be okay. So let's go back to recycler. Maybe just flip it around. Cannot build here. There we go. And now it will be in working order. We do need to get that power node connected and built so we have power in there. So we will go into power and get maybe a wall node. We'll stay with the floor for now. The floor seems to have a pretty decent range. And so, do we have this heater built yet? Not quite. And so that is, we will work on that. But they are all wearing space suits now. And I'm wondering if it is because of temperature. And see, they do have the debuff of shat pants. And so I think the heat is the reason. We will get them working on that first before they build anything else. And hopefully they can take the spacesuits off. Yeah, they do have them off now, so it was a heat issue. A little bit of, how would you say? A little bit of breaking it down, and it's not quite as clear as some games would be. But we are approaching the combat system now, and so we need to equip some of our colonists with weapons. And so I'm wondering why the discomfort is still there. It doesn't seem like there should be a reason for it, but maybe it will just go away with time. But yeah, let's get our colonists drafted. So you bring them to draft, and then you can tell them to come over here with a right click, and then you can equip a gun out of your, they start you off with 2. And so we'll just get, who is this? Venus? Miracle. We'll get Miracle equipping 1 gun, and Matt equipping the other. And we can undraft Miracle now. She does have the weapon equipped, but as you can see, there are a lot of, hold on, what do we have going on here? Undraft Miracle, draft Matt. Yeah, we do have a lot of options for equipment, and so that is something to note. The drafting is a little, again, I keep comparing it to RimWorld, however, that is what they are aiming for. And so let's link this up to here. Hopefully that solves our power problem, which it has, which is good. It seems as though the bathroom is in a stable state as well. And now they do have this little icon up here saying that they are sleeping and now resting. And so that is how you can keep track of what they're doing. They have these little logos here. But I think the ship is forming itself pretty well. Now, this is the task that ended up killing my crew member in the last one. But you can order them to go onto a shuttle and then tell the shuttle where to go. I am going to draft 2 of them and send them into this shuttle, and then we will explore the ship. Oh no, hold on. I have selected the wrong thing. We'll get them in this one. Is our shuttle, and so they'll get in there, and then we select this ship and tell it to dock, and then we find the nearby ship and hit accept, and then the ship will take them over there. There are threats on the ship, at least from the last one that I had explored, and I'm not sure if it is always randomized or if this is, I guess, kind of a scripted event, but we will tell Matt and Miracle to get out and see what this room has in store for us. And so they are out now, and you can tell them to explore. Sending 2 with guns is probably the better idea. And then as you slowly go through, you can hear the critters in the background, and so we have our first enemy encounter now. Hoping that they don't take too much damage from this guy. He is dead, and so we will move on to the next one. I am taking this slow because I was getting debuffs from being in their ships for too long, or in their spacesuits for too long. And yeah, once they get this guy killed, we will see what this is all about. And so they have grabbed it. It looks like it's loot credits, and so I'm assuming that there is some sort of trading system. Let's just get them to hold up here. That guy is dead, and we will explore this room. Hopefully there is nothing inside of it. Doesn't seem to be. So we'll just make our way through the ship and then head back to our shuttle. So again, 2 bugs out there. We just want to make sure that we are taking on not too many at one time. I did end up taking on a massive room like this, and it did kill my my last crewmate. And so just one at a time is ideal. And let's get back on these guys. We will need to select both of them again. So we'll select Matt and Miracle and send them into this room. And just make our way through door by door. Seems fairly straightforward. However, I am a little confused at the discomfort level. If we examine their needs, there is a massive debuff when they are doing this. And so we'll go take a look at Matt here. Conditions. He's got space suit fatigue, a monster bite, some discomfort, and an uncomfortable environment. However, I think we are finished in this ship now. It looks like we have explored the majority of it. Let's just get Matt and Miracle both selected and head out. It looks like there is one more room to explore, and then we will get back in our shuttle and back to our home base. And yeah, I am excited to see this game's potential. It is in early alpha. I think I've said this already. It's in early alpha, so there is a lot. The devs have acknowledged that it is not a complete game, and they are adding things, but they don't have necessarily a set plan. I think they're more open to player feedback on what they need to be working on, and we are low on oxygen. It looks like we have gotten everything we need, so we will just tell them to go get back in our shuttle. It seems like there are some relationship tabs as well, and so yeah, it looks like Miracle is not on good terms with Matt or Valeria, and so that's something to pay attention to and manage. It seems like the combat, being able to just walk right past that bug, it seems like it may be a little easy, but I guess we will see. And now that they are at insufficient oxygen, we will dock back at our ship and get these guys back to safety. Haven't really checked on these guys. I'm sure there is stuff that goes on in the ship that you should be aware of, but you can see here the log, as I was talking about. They had low oxygen, so it was definitely going to kill them being there for too long. Some shat pants because our washroom was out of commission, but it seems like everything is fixed now. And so where are these guys? They are right here. Let's just get them out of the ship and into their home, and then we will just dock here and be done with it. And so it seems like the notification hasn't gone away, although we have done it. So I will look into why that is if we're going to continue this series. Maybe it was because we missed one room, 2 rooms, and you have to explore it fully. So maybe we will have to go back there. But I think we got all of the materials that we would want out of it. However, the game won't progress through the directions until we finish. But I think this has been a good look at... Let's undraft these guys. I think this has been a good let's look at highlighting Space Haven. And so super interested in this game. Hopefully you guys are as well. Make sure to let me know in the comments your thoughts on the game and anything that kind of stood out to you, anything you've heard about this game. I haven't seen anyone really playing it or covering it, and so it's new to me, definitely, and just caught my interest when I was looking through some indie games. And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this has brought some value to you. And we will catch you on the next episode, hopefully. I'm Switz, and catch you later.